Today we will discuss very important topic. While we are attending interview, this topic recent days without this topic we cannot expect even single interview also. And the very important topic in real time perspective also. Not only job seekers, even the real time consultants also. So many consultants are struggled because of this topic. So those topic today I will try to explain from scratch to end. So the topic is here, what is the difference between ECC to SAP S4 HANA. So this is the topic which we are expecting in interview. At the same time, in interview recent times, without this question, you cannot expect interview also. And that too, this is the very important topic, right? And that too, not only interview purpose, even while we are working with the real time project also, to understand this topic and all is very important, right? So that's the reason only today we will discuss very briefly regarding this topic. Even not only my trainers, so many trainers they are asking regarding this topic. As per my opinion, so I don't tell like this is the simple difference between SAP S4 HANA to SAP ECC. Why? Because as per my experience, while I am working since with the last 5 years, I am working with SAP S4 HANA projects as part of implementation and support, and even SAP S4 HANA enhancement and central finance systems also, and not only finance module like vendor invoice management, FSCM, Ariba, and RAR. So I observed so many differences between these two, especially not only database point of view, even in functional point of view also. Basically, the main difference, if you observe the difference between ECC to SAP S4 HANA, is the database point of view, first one, and the second thing is functional point of view. These two things we can classify very easily, right? So when it comes to in database point of view, the main difference between ECC to SAP S4 HANA is database. When it comes to ECC, the database will be Oracle database or Microsoft database, some other databases also, right? When it comes to SAP S4 HANA, the database will be HANA database. Even in this point of view, I observed so many differences, especially the database earlier in Oracle or Microsoft, the database will be row based storage. When it comes to HANA, the database will be, we can store in column based storage. So regarding this topic, in upcoming, I will prepare one more video very briefly. What is this row based column and what is this column based column, and why we introduced this databases and all. And one more thing is, where it comes to Oracle and Microsoft database in earlier ECC systems, they run in the databases will be ROM, not ROM. We know very well, right? ROM, read only memory. Where it comes to RAM, so our database will be RAM. Like where it comes to HANA database, our database will store, our data will store in this place RAM. And where it comes to functional point of view, especially as a finance consultant or SAP S4 HANA finance consultant or FSCM or whatever it is. So I observed, I can see lot of changes between SAP ECC to SAP S4 HANA. Okay. So that's the reason I don't want to explain each and every change in this video. It is not possible. So within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes, within 1 hour, it is not possible. I saw huge changes. So if you tell exact changes, I tell like more than 100 plus changes. So my plan is I want to give each and every change in briefly, in detailedly in each and every video. So I will add this video in our YouTube channel, and within that YouTube channel, I will be maintain playlist as the difference between ECC to SAP S4 HANA. So in that playlist, you can find so many videos regarding these differences. Who are preparing for interviews or who are working recently joined with SAP. So this playlist will be very helpful for all of you, especially my trainees. I request you to all please go through this playlist and please watch our videos 1 to 10 times. Later you will get a very full idea. Especially while we are observing some of these changes, very important changes in finance point of view. So especially where it comes to GL, the main differences I can find chart of accounts level. At the same time, I can find posting period variant, and I will saw the main differences is ledgers and some more the currencies, the new currencies comes into picture. And at the time of GL creation also, we observed so many differences at the time of creation of GL by using FS00. And when it comes to AP, we have differences, especially the business partner, the new concept comes into picture, and we have to integrate this business partner to our vendors. It means at the same time, the main difference between ECC to SAP S4 HANA, in ECC business partners, we are using for only FSCM module, but when it comes to SAP S4 HANA business partners, we can use in so many ways, especially customers, vendors, employees. These are all treated as a business partners in SAP S4 HANA system. So that's the reason I observed so many changes, not only business partner point of view, even in payment terms point of view also we saw a lot of changes, and in tables wise also we saw a lot of changes. And when it comes to AR, again the business partner and as well as so many changes we can observe in SAP S4 HANA system. And when it comes to bank accounting, especially we can create bank account, especially the bank account ID we can create via Fiori only in SAP S4 HANA. So this is the major change. And apart from that, saw a lot of changes, especially the technical clearing account comes into picture, technical clearing account, and as well as we have lot of changes, especially the depreciation engine. So like this, I saw so many changes, not only in finance, even in controlling also. So that's the reason my plan is I will prepare this and all by one video in upcoming. Okay, SAP ECC versus S4 HANA. Okay, so today our topic is, yeah, this is not accepted. Yeah, now it is accepted and I can put as downloads. Yes. So today we will discuss one topic that is very important topic in general ledger point of view, especially in ledger settings. What is the difference between SAP ECC system to SAP S4 HANA? We can discuss this topic in this video. Okay. And especially in this video, I will try to cover not only SAP ECC. In SAP ECC, basically up to ECC 6.0, up to EHP 6, up to EHP 6.6, EHP 6.0, we have the ledger setup. Simply, we are called as this ledger setup and all. We are called as classic ledger. Okay. And when it comes to ECC, SAP ECC 6.0 and EHP 7 onwards, EHP 7 onwards, we knows very well the new GL comes into picture. Question is also very important in interview point of view. new GL concept. When it comes to SAP S4 HANA, so the new, instead of classic ledger and as well as instead of new GL concept, they introduced the new thing, especially in ledger point of view. So that is universal general, or simply we are called as universal ledger. And especially in universal ledger, we saw so many ledgers like standard ledger, extension ledger, and simulation ledger, and underlining ledger. So likewise, we saw so many ledgers are included in universal ledger. When it comes to new GL concept, we have ledgers like leading ledger and non-leading ledger. So especially we can cover these topics today's video, today's class, and especially out of these three. So the first video we can concentrate on these areas. It means what is the difference between SAP classic ledger versus new GL versus universal ledger. We can discuss very briefly regarding this video. Later, the second video, we can discuss this one, new GL concept, what is the leading ledger and non-leading ledger. When it comes to third video, we can discuss regarding this one. So I will be planned like this. Okay, today we will discuss this way. Yeah. So now I will open one PowerPoint presentation. So this is the classic GL. We can maintain as SAP ECC classic GL. Okay. And this one we will explain SAP new GL concept. SAP new GL. Where it comes to this one, like we have SAP S4 HANA, universal general. We can classify these three things into like this. Where it comes to SAP ECC classic GL, we have only one ledger. That ledger usually we are called as single ledger. So in classic GL, especially in ECC 6.0, EHP 6 before, so there is no concept of leading ledger and as well as non-leading ledger. Please try to understand. And especially while we are working with SAP as a SAP S4 HANA finance consultant, even nowadays also we can see these systems very rarely. As per my experience, as per my understanding, even right now I'm working with a one top MNC. So within that MNC, I'm working as a lead consultant in that organization. So in my organization, for one country, still we are using this classic GL. I'm working as a SAP S4 HANA finance consultant, and I'm part of implementation project. Where it comes to SAP S4 HANA implementation, already I told in my earlier videos, we have implementing our SAP into releases wise, like release 1, release 2, release 3, and release 11. So we have total 14 releases. Out of that releases, still some of the releases we need to implement this classic GL, we can migrate it into SAP S4 HANA also. So likewise, not only my project, even in my earlier experience, in my previous also, I saw some of the clients, they are still using this GL. See, once we are working with this GL, this type of environment, you cannot find new GL like leading ledger and non-leading ledger, and as well as there is no universal general universal ledger in this area. Why? Because in classic GL we have only single ledger. I will show you in screen wise also. No worry. Why how the screens are looking like in classic GL and in new GL and as well as in universal GL also I will show you. In classic GL, simple in ledger point of view, there is only single ledger. And if you go to new GL and especially EHP 7 onwards, in new GL, we have features like this. So especially the ledgers will be multi. So it means in new GL, we have ledgers like leading ledger and non-leading ledger. And in non-leading ledger, you can create n number of non-leading ledger also. There is no criteria, there is no restriction to maintain non-leading ledger concept in this area especially. And the leading ledger is the main ledger, and that too leading ledger maintaining is the mandatory in new GL concept. For every company code, for every company, not company code, every company must have one leading ledger, and within that company we can create n number of non-leading ledgers also. Okay. And that's the reason only here we will be maintained as parallel ledgers. So it means here we have different ledgers. What I said in classic GL, we have only single ledger. But when it comes to new GL, we have parallel ledgers. And the second thing is the very important feature in SAP new GL is document splitting. And in document splitting also, we can expect n number of questions in our interview. So what do you mean by document splitting? Could you please explain with one example of document splitting, how the documents are splitting? And before that, the document splitting is nothing but it is a function to split the documents based on the some characteristics, especially in finance, business area, profit center, and as well as segments. Where it comes to control, we have different types of characteristics. Regarding this document splitting and new GL, I will prepare one more video also in our upcoming in our channel. So please go through that. Okay. Because of time consistency. So here I don't want to explain in detailed document splitting. It will take another 1 hour. So the next feature is very important thing is real time integration between CO2 FI. So this is also very important feature where it comes to new GL concept, right? So in new GL concept, because of this one, we have four advantages. So one is parallel ledgers, it means parallel accounting. And the second one is document splitting. And the third one is real time integration. And the fourth one is data migration also is the new benefit of new GL, data migration. It means you can migrate your data from classic GL to new GL also. So here I will be maintain one more feature, data migration. Okay. Yeah. So these are the things in new GL. And where it comes to in SAP S4 HANA universal ledger. So here we have multi ledgers. So not only leading and non-leading ledgers, we have different types of ledgers. Especially leading ledger, yes, we have in SAP S4 HANA. When it comes to non-leading ledger, again we can classify it into two things. One is standard ledger and the second one is extension ledger. So within that extension ledger, again we are classified into four types like simulation ledger, A, V, P, and general entries wise. I will show you in the system how this is differences and all, and how we can understand this concept is very clearly. And when it comes to append ledgers, whatever I said up to now, so we have different append ledgers also we have in SAP S4 HANA. Okay. So in second video or in I think in third video we can see these are all ledgers very detailed. So before that, sorry. So before moving into this section, So I think you knows very well what do you mean by ledger. So basically we knows very well what do you mean by accounting. I will try to explain within 1 to 2 minutes. Even this video, so even non accounting background students also they can see my videos, and maybe I will try to explain within 2 to 3 minutes what do you mean by accounting and ledger and all the basic concepts. See, the accounting we knows very well the process of recording financial transactions pertaining to a business, which includes summarizing, analyzing, and reporting these transactions to oversight agencies, regularities, and tax collection entities. We knows very well what do you mean by accounting. Accounting is nothing but regarding of financial transactions pertaining to a business, which includes summarizing, analyzing, and reporting. These are the three main objectives to prepare the to prepare the accounts in any organization, right? And that too, this reportings and all we can send it to we can available to see the oversight agencies and the regulators, and as well as the tax authorities also. And when it comes to we have one accounting cycle, especially this is also very important how we will understand this ledgers and all. So this is also very important. Accounting cycle is nothing but a collective process of identifying, analyzing, and recording the accounting events of a company. So it means in a company we have daily we are moving some business day-to-day transactions. So within that business transactions, how we are maintaining these accounts. So with the help of accounting cycle, we can maintain our accounting process in real time. So very basic things, this and all, and especially the accounting cycle will be looks like this. The first step we have to identify transactions and events. Based on that identification of transactions and events, we can record the transactions. It is nothing but posting of transactions, general entries. So how we will maintain general entries based on the golden rules of accounting. Basically in accounting we have two types of accounts, personal accounts and impersonal accounts. Out of that impersonal accounts, again we have two types of accounts, real accounts and nominal accounts. If you observe the golden rules of accounting, especially the personal account, debit the receiver and credit the giver. And in real account, what comes in debit and what goes out credit. And when it comes to nominal account, debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. Based on this golden rules accounting, based on the accounting concepts, we will prepare the journal entries. So once it is completed, later we can move to those journal entries into general ledger. So because of this topic only, I will try to explain these are all basic things. Now we want to concentrate on ledgers, right? So once we are posting these transactions into ledgers, later we have to do some unadjusted trial balance. So after that, we have to make some general entries, which is very important to adjusting general entries to prepare the adjusted trial balance. So this is the general accounting cycle, right? And based on this adjusted trial balance, we can prepare our financial statements. Financial statements is nothing but P&L account, balance sheet, cash flow statement, funds flow statement, director's note, or whatever it is, we can prepare. These are all the financial statements. And finally, we can maintain some year end closing activities. So, this is the complete accounting cycle. Especially now, today we will concentrate this topic, the general ledger topic. Okay. And if you see, we have different concepts in accounting also. So I hope all of you knows very well these concepts and all. Okay. So because of these concepts only, we can maintain our accounting in our real time systems and all. And especially the business entity concept, money measurement, going concern, accounting period. And when it comes to objectivity, materiality, and communication or whatever it is, these are all the matching concept or dual aspect concept or cost concept. These are all the concepts we can use to maintain our accounting statements and all in real time. And when it comes to SAP, we know very well we have two modules basically, FI and CO. FI we are using for external requirement, and CO we can maintain for internal requirements. I told so many times. And especially FI point of view, we can maintain our balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow and funds flow or whatever it is. When it comes to internal reporting in CO, we will be maintain cost center reports, sales, and profitability analysis. And in FI, we have submodules like this: general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank accounting, and asset accounting. Now our topic, which is related to this topic, general ledger. And when it comes to CO, we have submodules like this: cost element accounting, activity based accounting, cost center accounting, profit center accounting, internal orders, product costing, and finally profitability analysis. Then what do you mean by ledger? A ledger account can be defined as a summary statement of all the transactions relating to a person, asset, expenses, or income which have taken place during a given period of time and shows their net effect. So this is the exact definition of ledger. So simple, the group of accounts is known as ledger. Where it comes to in SAP also the list of GL accounts, the group of accounts simply we are called as ledger in SAP point of view also. Ledger means we can maintain all our accounts. We can maintain summary statement of the all the transactions which is related to our business. Those are all things we can maintain, right? So that's the reason only I will try to cover these are all basics, especially while we are understanding in ledger concept. And we knows very well when it comes to basics ledgers, we have two types of ledgers: general ledger and as well as subsidiary ledger. The general ledger is the collection group of accounts that supports the value items shown in the major financial statements. When it comes to subsidiary ledger, we have a subset of general ledger also. Especially because of this general ledger and subsidiary ledger, we have the new GL, especially in SAP, the new GL we can define with the help of this topic also, subsidiary ledger. So within that we can maintain leading ledger and as well as non-leading ledger also. I will try to cover those points in our second video. And the next point is general ledger. We know a complete record of a company's transaction over a period of time, documenting changes to assets, liabilities, equity, expenses, and revenue. So this is the meaning of ledger, right? So within that ledger, where it comes to SAP point of view, we have three types of ledgers up to in SAP ERP software. So the first generation we are called as classic GL, and the second generation ledger we are called as new GL. Where it comes to the third generation of ledgers, we saw the universal ledger, right? So regarding this thing only, I will try to explain. These are all things, okay? And now we are coming into same our presentation. This is the first generation of ledgers of SAP ERP software. Simply we are called as classic GL, and in second generation ledgers we are classified into new GL, and the third type of ledgers we are classified into universal ledger, right? So where it comes to data point of view, we can see the differences between these three ledgers. Where it comes to data point of view, especially the data will be summarized in this place and this place. And when it comes to general universal ledger, the line items details we can saw in data point of view. Okay, I will try to explain. These are all things in tables concept. And the next one here, where it comes to classic GL and as well as new GL and as well as the universal ledger. So here you can see in classic GL, mostly we have FI data and there is a limited CO data. Because of this one, we have incomplete dimensionality in classic GL. Okay, why? Because here we have to maintain different ledgers, single ledger, and that too, that single ledger we can maintain our finance data, right? So if you want to maintain, if you want to connect those finance data, we have to reconcile that data into CO also. Because of classic GL, we are facing n number of reconciliation issues in classic GL. And when it comes to new GL, there is a more CO data than classic. Comparing to classic GL, we can get more CO data. And in new GL, already I told there is a real-time integration between CO and FI. Because of this concept, because of this integration, we can get it more CO data than classic GL. And here also there is some incomplete dimensionality because of some features we are not integrated all the CO functionalities and all. So we can say there is a some incomplete dimensionality also in NewGL. When it comes to universal ledger, we have to aggregate on the fly and single place for FI, CO and COPA assets and material codes. There is no incomplete dimensionality in a universal ledger. So it means in universal ledger, we can include all the things in finance, GL and in CO, and when it comes to COPA and when it comes to assets and when it comes to material. It means I can show you one picture regarding this universal ledger. If you see, I will show you one picture. So yeah, this one. See, see, for example, if you observe in this picture, universal general is a combination of GL, COPA, CO, asset accounting, and material ledger. So it means in earlier we maintained these are all things in different places. Now these are all things we can maintain at one place, universal general. Usually this universal general we are called as single source of truth in real time. Universal general we are called as single source of truth because this truth, this single source, we can get it the values from GLs and COPA, material ledger, asset accounting, and in CO also. I will try to explain brief about these things in our third video. So now we can skip this one. Okay. So regarding universal general and all. Next, again, we can go to the presentation. When it comes to reporting point of view, report painters we can use in classic GL and in new GL, and above reports we have, and when it comes to GUI also we can get it reports. When it comes to universal ledger, so there is a huge reports we can get it in SAP S4 HANA, especially Fiori apps and analysis for Office and Lumira and third party tools, and even in direct HANA also we can get it n number of reports. Especially in reporting point of view, there is a huge difference between SAP ECC or SAP New GL to SAP S4 HANA. This is the major change, especially because of changing of the software, because of the changing of the database. Earlier, the database will be row based, and now the database will be column based. So by the because of this column based, we can saw there is a huge of reportings and all, and the system speed is also very high. Okay, and regarding these technical things, how this data, how these tables and all, how we will understand and all, I will try to make one video regarding these complete things and all, right? Especially in database point of view, you have to explain the row based and column based and RAM, ROM, and OLAP and OLTP. We have so many things we have to discuss, right? So those are all things I will be prepared. I will try to explain in one more video, one more session. Okay. See, if you see, this is the main difference between SAP ECC Classic GL, New GL, and as well as Universal Ledger. So the first point is in ECC Classic, please try to understand here we have only single ledger, and when it comes to new GL, we have multi ledgers, especially leading ledger and non-leading ledger. Leading ledger is the main ledger we can maintain for group reporting purpose. When it comes to non-leading ledger, we can use for parallel accounting, right? And the real-time integration between CO and FI, and the new functionality comes into picture, the document splitting. Out of the document splitting, we have three types of document splitting, like passive document splitting, active document splitting, and zero balance clearing splitting. And there is a data migration feature is also there in new GL. And when it comes to SAP S4 HANA, Universal General, Universal Ledger, we have multi ledgers, parallel ledgers comes into picture, document splitting we have, and append ledgers we have. And apart from that, here we have a standard ledger, extension ledger, simulation ledger, underlining ledger. So likewise, we saw so many ledgers in SAP S4 HANA also. Okay. And where it comes to second point of view, we can explain the data point of view like summarized and line items. And when it comes to mostly in classic GL and in new GL, we have very limited CO data by comparing with SAP S4 HANA. And there is a reports wise also we have to maintain our report painters and above reports and GUI in classic GL and new GL. Where it comes to SAP S4 HANA, we have new reports and all, especially Fiori analysis for Office and Lumira and third-party tools. We have different reporting tools comes into picture in this area, SAP S4 HANA. Okay, so now I will try to show you in practically how the system looks like in classic GL and how the system looks like in new GL and how the system looks like in SAP S4 HANA Universal Ledger. We will try to cover these are all things. And especially before I show you this one, especially in this one, we have different versions in SAP S4 HANA. Since 2015 onwards, like we have versions 15.10, 16.09, 17.09, 18.09, 19.09, 2020, and 2021 and 2022. If you observed these versions also, we saw a lot of differences in ledgers perspective also. Okay, so it means in SAP S4 HANA, there is a single ledger, there is a single ledger concept we can maintain all versions. No. So please try to understand, especially while you are working with real-time project. So based on our system version, so our ledgers will be also different. Please try to understand this concept. It's very important concept. In SAP S4 HANA, we have different ledger setups also. So I will show you for each and every release how these differences and all we can observe in our system. Okay. So first of all, I will show you in ledger, in classic ledger. Okay, for this purpose I will share one more screen. Okay, and here you can see, so my screen is visible, right? Okay, see, if you see, this is the ECC system and that too this
Yes.
ECC system. So we have this one is classic GL. It means this is the ECC EHP6 and ECC 6.0. So usually how we will check for every system and all, if you go to system status, if you have this option product version, if you see in this product version, we can find out our system details easily. So here you can see this is the ECC 6.0 and that to ERP 6.0. So it means this system we can see classic ledger in this system. I will show you. See, if you go to financial accounting, so in financial accounting, if you go to financial accounting, so there is no, here you can observe one point very clearly. In financial accounting, there is no new option. While we are checking in new GL system, we have one more option is there, financial accounting new. So if you see that system, it means that is the ECC 6.0 and EHP 7. And that too in that system, new GL is there. Where it comes to, if you see this system, and especially ECC, there is no new financial accounting new tab. It means this is the classic GL system. So in this classic GL system, if you see the financial accounting global settings, and if you see the ledger accounting settings and all, you can see anywhere in this place. If you go to the preparations, or if you go to like GL accounts creation processing, or if you go to request to change GL accounts master data, or if you go to whatever items, transport chart of accounts or whatever it is, you can see there is no ledger settings and all in classic GL. And if you want to go in financial accounting, where is that financial accounting? Yeah. So if you want to check in financial accounting in company code or in business area or in fiscal year or in document, or you can see anywhere, any place you can see accounting document achieving or document marketing and the document number ranges. If you see any place, there is no ledger settings in Classic GL. Why? So the reason is in Classic GL, we can maintain only single ledger. So that's the reason only you don't want to create ledgers and all in Classic GL. And one more important point is the basic point is, okay. So while we are creating company, where it comes to Classic GL, New GL, or SAP S4 HANA GL, the system will create automatically one ledger. You cannot, you don't want to create specifically one ledger in system. Did you get my point? Especially in Classic GL, New GL, or SAP S4 HANA, while we are creating one company code, the system will prepare automatically one ledger. Okay, we don't want to maintain our ledger settings and all one more time in system. Where it comes to Classic GL, we have only one ledger. That ledger is automatically created by the system. And where it comes to the second, the new GL, the system will create a leading ledger automatically. If you want to maintain non-leading ledgers, yes, you can maintain. And when it comes to SAP S4 HANA system, the system will give automatically one leading ledger, the standard ledger. If you want to maintain the remaining ledgers and all, you can maintain as per your requirement. But the thing is, one ledger is automatically created by the system. So this is the Classic GL. So here in the screen, if you see very clearly, and that too, there is no ledger settings and all in Classic GL. Okay. Now I will show you new GL in my system. Okay. So then I will open the new GL. Yeah. I will open ECC EHP 7 onwards. So here, so in new GL system, okay. See, if you see, this is the new GL system, EHP 6.0, EHP 7, ECC 6.0 and EHP 7. If you go to SPRO and SAP reference IMG, and where it comes to financial accounting, here you can see there is a financial accounting new tab comes into picture. What I said earlier, in Classic GL, there is no new financial accounting new tab in earlier. Am I correct or not? So it means those system is the Classic GL, right? Where it comes to new GL, we have this tab. If you go to this one, if you find some financial global settings new, if you go to in this area, there is a ledger setting in this place. So within that ledgers, if you see, so there is a ledger column in this field. If you click on ledger, we have settings like this in new GL. So in new GL, we have settings like define ledger for general ledger accounting, and define currencies of leading ledger, and define and activate non-leading ledgers, and assign scenarios and customer fields to ledgers, and activate cost of sales accounting, and define ledger group. These are the settings we have to maintain in new GL in ECC EHP 7 onwards, right? So then I will open one more system. So that is ECC, that is SAP S4 HANA 1909 system. I will open one more new system. See, in 1909, yeah. So this is my 1909 system, SAP S4 HANA. If you go to in this place, so here you can see there is no, again, there is no financial accounting new tab. Why? In SAP S4 HANA, we have universal ledger concept. There is no new GL concept, right? In universal ledger, we have multiple ledgers and all. And if you go to financial accounting in this tab, and if you go to financial accounting global settings, and we have ledger option, same as new GL. And if you go to ledger, and here you can see there is a 3 settings which is related to define settings for ledgers and currency types, and deactivate ledger for a company code, and define ledger group. And where it comes to ECC new GL, we saw settings like this, right? Yeah. See here you can see 6 types of settings we have to maintain in new GL, ECC. And when it comes to SAP S4 HANA, we have these 3 types of settings, right? And if I click this one, and here you can see there is a ledger settings like this in SAP S4 HANA system. And especially in SAP S4 HANA, this is the major change you can observe. And when it comes to ECC EHP 7, if I want to maintain my ledgers in general ledger accounting, you will get the screen like this in new GL. And if I want to create any currencies of leading ledger, if you click this one, you can enter, you can get it screen like this. And if you want to maintain some define and activate non-leading ledgers, if you click on this area, so then you have to maintain your ledger. If I give my ledger as 0U, then if you go to here in this place, we have to maintain settings and all like this. So, but if you see in SAP S4 HANA system, we can find these types of settings and all. So it means you can observe the different systems in classic GL and in new GL and SAP S4 HANA GL. We have to find so many changes, right? So that's the reason only. Please try to learn. These are all things. Be carefully. In interview, they will ask so many questions regarding these topics and all, and you have to explain each and every change very neatly and briefly, right? So then, if you see in SAP S4HANA 190 version. So here we have one leading ledger we have to maintain. And apart from that, in while we are creating any ledger, we have to maintain these two things, whether that ledger is a standard ledger and whether that ledger is a extension ledger. And if you want to select this is a extension ledger, in that extension ledger, we have to maintain some more extension ledger types also. Uh, Even this question also you can expect from our interview. What are the extension ledger types available in SAP S4 HANA system? So we have basically 4 types of extension ledgers, that is P, S, V and standard general entries. If you go to P, the line items with the technical numbers, no deletion possible. And if you are checking with S, line items with the technical numbers, deletion possible. And if you go to V, general entries for valuation differences. And the last one is the standard general entries. And especially this thing is the main difference between 1809 version to 1909 version. In 1809, we have a simulation ledger concept, and especially this simulation ledger we can use to post the foreign currency revaluations, right? But where it comes to 1909, we have to maintain our simulation ledger as a part of extension ledger type. This is the main difference between 1809 to 1909 system. So right now I don't have 1809 system, so that's the reason only I couldn't show you. So, but I have 1909 and 2021 systems. Okay. But the thing is, because of 1809, I don't have systems right now in my system. So that's the reason only I don't show you the simulation ledgers and all. Okay. And the next thing is, if you see in this area, there is a underlining ledger concept also. Especially while you are preparing any extension ledger, we have to tell the system underlining ledger. So it means based on which ledger we have to maintain this extension ledger. And this underlying ledger may be leading ledger or a non-leading ledger. Okay. And if you see there is a other things like subtype valuation and all, this is inactive in 1909. And where it comes to 2021, we have subtype valuation is also comes into picture. That is also new change in 2021 system. And accounting principle of ledger also we can define in this place. And I will show you in 2021 system how the new ledger settings and all we can see. Then I will open this system also. Okay. So then again I will go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting. So within that global settings and within that ledgers, ledger and define settings for ledgers and currency types. If you go to in this place, someone is locking my system. First of all, I will remove that locks and all. Okay. So if you see 2021 system, there is a ledger settings and all this way. And if you observe this one, especially this is the main difference between 1909 system to 2021. In 2021 and in 2020 system also, we can see the new item where it comes to in ledger settings, the valuation view comes into picture. And especially while we are maintaining any ledger, whether it is leading ledger or non-leading, whether it is standard ledger or extension ledger, you can have to maintain these things also in new ledgers. Especially if you want to calculate your valuation, legal valuation or group valuation or profit center valuation or segment valuation. So we can find, we can use this option also. And this is the change we can see in 2021 version, right? So we have changes like this. And when it comes to SAP S4 HANA 2021, we have ledger types, two things only, standard and extension. This simple how you can understand this thing. Standard ledger is nothing but leading ledger and extension ledger is nothing but non-leading ledger. And if you select any extension ledger, again in non-leading ledger, we have these types of non-leading ledgers we have in SAP S4 HANA system. And if you select any one ledger as our non-leading ledger, then we have to maintain our underlining ledger. And within that underlining ledger, if you want to maintain, if you want to see any valuation, you also you can select. And finally, you have to maintain your accounting principal ledger also. So because of these are all things, we saw there is a lot of changes between 1909 system, 1809 system, and 2021 system, and ECC Classic GL and new GL system. So that's the reason only. So whatever I points explained up to now. So this is our topic, right? In ECC ledger, Classic ledger, we have single ledger. Already I showed you there is no settings and all. And when it comes to when it comes to new GL, we have multi ledgers, especially the leading ledger and the non-leading ledger, right? So already I showed you in this place, right? If you want to see in this place also. And the second, the third thing is in universal ledger, we have a number of ledgers, right? Already I showed you, and the different versions also we saw very clearly 1909 to 2021. Right now I don't have access to 1809, so that's the reason only I don't show you. But if you see 1809, in that 1809 also the ledger settings is different, right? Especially while we are attending any interview, if you claim experience as a SAP S4 HANA implementation, so the interviewer is asking this question, on which version you are working. At the time you can tell 1809 or 1909 or 2021. Then the interviewer is asking this question, what is the difference between 1809 to 1909 or 1909 to 2021? So these are all topics is also very important topics. In upcoming days, I will try to post some videos in our YouTube channel, how we will understand this different versions and all. And even I'm working with all the versions in 1709, 1809, 1909, 2020, and currently I'm working with 2021 version also. And that too, I know the complete picture of these are all versions and all of these are all the differences and all. Okay. So in our upcoming days, I will try to post those videos also same in this playlist. So please go through these videos 1 to 10 times and please try to understand and please don't feel too difficult to understand these topics and all. I hope I will explain each and everything is very clearly. Still, if you have any doubts, please watch this video 1 to 10 times. So definitely you will get some idea. And if you watch this video, please prepare your notes And within that notes, as of our understanding, please maintain some points and please try to understand the whole concept. Okay, so this is our first video, and in our second video I will try to explain what is the difference and how we will understand the new GL. And in third video I will try to explain the complete things which is related to universal ledger. Okay, so whoever watching my videos, please try to like and subscribe and please share to your friends also. Why? Because these are all things as very important in real time point of view. And please make comment, and if you have any doubts and all, please mention your comment in this video and I will try to reply to all our comments. So anyone have any doubts regarding this topic?
No, sir.
Yeah. So before doubts, did you understand the class అర్థమైందా?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. సో బేసికల్లీ ఒకసారి ఈవెన్ నా వీడియోస్ లో తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటారు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళ కోసం కూడా ఒకసారి చూసుకుంటే, సి ఇక్కడ నేను చాలా క్లియర్ గా చెప్తున్నానండి. మీరు ఎస్ఏపి S4 HANA అనేది నేర్చుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే, లేకపోతే లెడ్జర్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో డిఫరెన్సెస్, అండ్ ఐ విల్ ఫర్గెట్ వన్ మోర్ పాయింట్ ఆల్సో. ఐ వాంట్ టు ట్రై టు షో యూ uh, one picture, especially the differences wise. So this is that picture. So here you can see there is a difference between classic GL, new GL and SAP S4 HANA. In classic GL, we have to maintain legal requirements, parallel accounting in finance, and in profit center accounting, we have to maintain segment reporting. And where it comes to special ledgers, we have to maintain for multi-dimensionals and customized client requirement. And finally, we have to maintain reconciliation ledger where it comes to cost of sales accounting point of view. And controlling, we have to maintain like this: profit and loss account, imputed accounting, and material ledger. We have to maintain these are all things into separately, so not combinedly. And we have to combine these are all things with the help of reconciliation ledgers in classic GL. So that's the reason only in reconciliation point of view, we are getting huge, ఏమంటారు, there is a huge differentiations we can find in reconciliation ledgers. When it comes to new GL, so in new GL, these are all things comes into we can integrate like legal requirements, management and segment reporting, fast closing, parallel accounting, balance sheet for freely and defined characteristics. These are all things we can migrated into one place. These are integrated into one place. Whatever these four things we can simply put into one place. And when it comes to controlling, we have to maintain like this only: profit and loss account and material ledger we have to maintain differently. When it comes to SAP S4 HANA, we can combine these two things into single source, right? So it means while we are working with classic GL, we have to understand the reconciliation ledger. While we are working with new GL, we have to concentrate more on leading ledger and non-leading ledger. While we are working with SAP S4 HANA, simply you can concentrate on universal general. In universal general, like legal requirements, management and segment reporting, fast closing, we have different things: central finance, controlling, margin analysis. These are all things we can combine into single place. That's the reason only in SAP S4 HANA there is no issues in reconciliation ledgers point of view. There is no reconciliation ledger concept in SAP S4 HANA. Why? Because we are all ledgers we are integrated, right? All modules we are integrated with the help of universal general. And that is the main reason only why the SAP S4 HANA is introducing universal general in SAP S4 HANA. Because of this reconciliation issue only, the SAP introduced this new universal general. And when it comes to imputed profit and loss account, yes, we can maintain this thing in separately. But the remaining things, material ledger is also part of SAP S4 HANA universal general. Already I showed you one picture earlier. In universal general, we have this thing also. Material ledger also we can include in this place, right? We have to integrate all these modules. Because of these things only, our there is no reconciliation issue in SAP S4 HANA. Even in reporting also, we can see there is a huge difference in SAP S4 HANA system. So this is my final conclusion. Please try to understand today. This video we can explain what is the difference between classic ledger versus new GL versus universal general. In universal general, I will explain in 1909 and in 2021. These are all things. Okay, please try to watch 1 to 10 times of this video and please try to learn be carefully. This is a very important topic in real time point of view and in interview point of view also. ఓకే, సో తెలుగు మెంబర్స్ కోసం సింపుల్ అండి. ఇక్కడ మనకి ఎస్ఐపిలో ఎస్ఐపి ఈఆర్పి సాఫ్ట్వేర్లో వీ హ్యావ్ 3 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ లెడ్జర్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ లైక్ క్లాసిక్ లెడ్జర్, న్యూ జిఎల్ అండ్ యూనివర్సల్ లెడ్జర్. సో క్లాసిక్ జిఎల్ ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది అంటే మీకు ఈసీసీలో వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఈసీసీలో మనకి ఈహెచ్పి ఎన్హాన్స్మెంట్ ప్యాకేజ్ ఈహెచ్పి 6.0 వర్షన్స్ వరకు మీరు వర్క్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే మీకు క్లాసిక్ లెడ్జర్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ క్లాసిక్ లెడ్జర్లో మీకు ఒకటే లెడ్జర్ ఉంటుంది అండ్ లెడ్జర్ సెట్టింగ్స్ అనేది ఉండవు. ఇంతకుముందు నేను ఏదైతే క్లాస్లో చెప్పానో అది. అండ్ న్యూ జిఎల్లో ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే మనకి లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్, నాన్ లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్ అని మనకు 2 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ లెడ్జర్స్ ఉంటాయి. అండ్ నాన్ లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్స్ మీరు కావాలి అనుకుంటే నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ నాన్ లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్స్ అనేది మీరు క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అండ్ యూనివర్సల్ లెడ్జర్లో ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే యూనివర్సల్ జనరల్లో వీ హ్యావ్ లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్ అండ్ నాన్ లీడింగ్ లెడ్జర్. బట్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ మనం ఏమని పిలవాలి? న్యూ ఎస్ఏపి S4 అనాలంటే స్టాండర్డ్ లెడ్జర్, ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ లెడ్జర్ అనాలి. ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ లెడ్జర్లో అగైన్ వీ హ్యావ్ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ అండ్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా నేను ఈ వీడియోలో మీకు ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాను. సో నెక్స్ట్ వీడియోలో మనం బ్రీఫ్గా న్యూ జిఎల్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాము అండ్ దాని నెక్స్ట్ వీడియోలో యూనివర్సల్ లెడ్జర్ గురించి బ్రీఫ్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాం. ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీకు ఇంటర్వ్యూకి యూజ్ అవుతుంది. వీడియో 1కి 10 టైమ్స్ వినండి. ఇంగ్లీష్ అర్థం కాలేదనుకున్న వాళ్ళు నేనేమి ఫుల్ ఫారెన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ ఏం మాట్లాడలేదు. ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ వెరీ సింపుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్. ప్లీజ్ ట్రై టు వాచ్ దిస్ వీడియో 1 to 10 times. Definitely you will get good idea, good understanding also, right? So any doubts in online members?
No, sir. No.
No. So అర్థమైందా కాన్సెప్ట్?
Yeah, అర్థమైంది సార్.
ఓకే, సో దెన్ మనం సెకండ్ వీడియోలో మళ్ళీ అగైన్ సెకండ్ సెషన్లో వీ కెన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ బ్రీఫ్లీ అబౌట్ న్యూ జిఎల్. ఓకే, సో థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.